ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהכל נהיה בדברו. How was the Mishkan, the tabernacle, built in the desert? Where did they get the resources for it? God told Moses, tell everyone that he has to contribute with half of a shekel. Every member of the Jewish community had to give half of a shekel, and with these resources, the Mishkan was, of course, constructed in the desert. Why half a shekel? Why not a whole shekel? Maybe to make it more accessible. If people didn't have so many resources, they could also contribute. Interesting, the Torah says that a rich man couldn't give more. In other words, somebody couldn't come and say, I'll give you 50 half shekels. No such thing. Everybody had to contribute half a shekel. It was a very democratic process. This means that everybody had a share in the building of the Mishkan. I was equal to somebody else as well. Nobody was more than I, because we all contributed the same thing in the building of the Mishkan. But as a corollary, as a consequence of this contribution, all you had to do was count how many half shekels you have, and then the number of the Jewish people. That was a census of the Jewish people that was taken immediately. You knew immediately how many people with whom you can count. The Torah says that later on, after being like a year around Mount Sinai, where they had received the Torah, the Jewish people are told, now you have to go into the desert, you're going into the promised land. Unfortunately, they don't go directly into the promised land. There's a problem with the spies. We know that difficulties. They will spend a total of 40 years in the desert until all those who were already 20 years old when they left Egypt, they will all die in the desert, and a new generation will go and conquer the land. Maybe slave mentality could not conquer a new land. You needed somebody different. Whatever the reason was, they will stay a number of years in the desert. But just before they're about to enter the desert, God tells Moses, you know what? We've got to take a new census of the Jewish people. How are you going to do it this time? This time you're going to count everybody. It's not by contributions. You're going to count everybody. That means that Moshe had to meet everybody. And this time you counted also according to their families, according to their tribes. And the Torah is very exact. How many people in each family, how many people in each tribe. And of course you get a total of the entire Jewish people. It's a different type of counting this time. Why? Well, on the one hand, you need a total. You have to know how many soldiers will be able to participate in a war, in some kind of battle against an enemy in the desert. You have to know with whom you count. But on the other hand, you cannot confuse the issues. Each family has its own particularities. Each one has its own character. We are not all the same. We are different. Each tribe had its own characteristics. There was a tribe of Issachar. There was a tribe of Zebulun. One was good in economics, the other one was good in studies. So one supported the other one materially, and the other one supported the other one spiritually, taught them. The tribe of Levi, for instance, Levi, did not receive a portion when the promised land was divided among all the tribes. They were not given. They were supposed to be the teachers of the Jewish people. They had to go and make sure that the Jewish tradition is transmitted. The cities that they were given also served as cities of refuge. If somebody killed somebody else without intention, then he could go to one of those cities in order to escape. What is that teaching us? That we have to have unity, but not uniformity. That there are different traits among different people. We each were created in the image of God. Each and every one of us is different. It's the difference that contributes toward a greater unity, because society advances when each and every one of us, according to his own talents, according to his own personal traditions, contributes to society. Society becomes thereby much richer. So a census, on the one hand, tells us how many we are, but it doesn't confuse how different we are individually as well.